wonderful stay here for the last couple of days, and over the past years, whenever we've been visiting, all of us, my sister Dawn and her husband Bob, my sister-in-law Lingya and her two children, Kyra and Ethan. Can you see these people? No. Uh-oh. They're Dawn and Bob. So I was firstborn. I'm Ilsa, and I was born 60 years ago. And my sister was born later. My brother, Mayor, is taking pictures. My brother, Mayor, will take pictures all evening.
Yes. That's right.
So be sure to look your best because...
My name is Joe Schulte. I've only been here about 3 or 4 months. And when I moved in with about 20 floors and 800 renters, they put me right across the hall from Lou. And the second day I said, geez, I got one hell of a guy across the hall there, you know, and I would kid with people. All I hear in there is bottles dropping on the floor all night long. It was a pleasure having him as a neighbor. And we had some nice little chit-chats together and so on. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say that I made a few notes here that not only was it a privilege of having him as a friend, but I learned things from Lou that he was, as Hank had mentioned, a warm individual that cared. And I know he was good at the pool table. My breakfast partner there told me that he once in a while would even beat him. But I may say that I never met an individual with great class and a good sense of humor. And I really warmed up with him. We both had a nice connection there for the short time, again, we were together.
There was a group that were sitting back in the card room, and they were playing some game, and I said, oh, I love to play, and he looked at me directly and said, well, honey, let's play post office. And I said, Lord, we found where I'm going to live. I said, I haven't even moved in, and he's already propositioned.
When I first started here, he was on my tail and wanted to be sure. You had to do things by the book, and you had to do them exactly. You didn't guess, you didn't change it. He'd always tell you. And anything I'd say, he'd check. He'd make sure. If he didn't think, he'd come back and tell me you were wrong. This is him, and he had this way of doing things, and God, you remember that all the time. But he had his ways, and he was a great man besides what other things people said. He had his ways. Thank you.
Me and Zadie, we used to play cards a lot, as I guess you guys did too. And our favorite game was definitely Jim Rummy, if he's ever played with you. And Ethan, actually today, this is Ethan, we were in the car and we were talking about how, how it was fun to play gin with Zadie, and he was like, it was really too bad I didn't get to learn to play with him. And I was like, Ethan, there's no point in playing. He will beat you anyway. He was just a great player. But, I mean, you know what they say, if you learn from the best, it's really a great experience to learn from. So, that's what my funny story was.
Nice.
Well, whenever I used to see Zadie, he would always be like, Boyle, come on, give me a big hug. And that would just warm my heart. And, it just shows he's a caring grandfather.
Great. Great. Thanks, guys.
I think one of the things that, especially if he got on his email list, all the emails and all the jokes that, he'd love to send around. Is Vera here? Is there a...
Oh, Vera doesn't live here.
So I guess I've been designated as the...
Are you going to keep up those emails?
I guess I'm,
That's his job.
Oh, okay. Didn't know we were delegating responsibilities.
I'll have my email address over here, so if you want to be in the loop as far as the jokes are concerned. But He was a wonderful man, a true mensch in every sense of the word, and we're going to miss him, and I know you'll miss him, and I just want to let you know that he just loved being here.
You did.
Thank you.
I sat with Lou the last 7 days at Lenora Manor, and I left 20 hours before he died. And when I left, I kissed him on the forehead and I said, Ilsa tells me I'm supposed to tell you I'm leaving, and now you can leave. And it was one of the few things I could do for him. He had done so many things for us. But when I was on the phone talking to Ilsa and it was getting very sad because he wasn't responding anymore, many of you came to see him, and that was wonderful because he did understand everything that was being said, even if he couldn't respond. It was very touching. So I'm talking to Ilsa, and he suddenly comes out of his sleep and he says, Fred, don't get sentimental.
What a story.
It will be hard not to be sentimental, so I think you'll give me permission tonight if I could be very briefly. I've gotten a lot of comments on the internet coming back as we've sent out news to people to kind of fill them in. And people have come back with comments, and these are just a couple of things that they called Lou. He was a regular joke, and he was. He had the common touch, which a number of people have said. He was a peach. This is from my brother-in-law on my side of the family. A peach of a guy that you could watch a basketball game with and cheer and throw peanut shells on the floor and aggravate my sister, which is always worth the price of admission. Our neighbor across the street, he joined us for a neighborhood walk, a passeggiata, years ago, and he was kind of the hit of the show, and she calls him a charmer. Lou was always a charmer. I mean, he always was light on his feet, whether he was dancing or he was telling you a story or just hanging out with you. He was a good egg, an old expression, we don't use it anymore, but he was. He was a good egg. But he was a stickler for form and for the rules. And if you messed with him during a game of 313 or pinochle, that's why I laughed, you were going to get your hand slapped. And it got very serious. And you take too long to make a move, suddenly he wasn't your best friend anymore. You kept those things moving ahead. I have a great term for him. It's something I told him, I called him. He was human Velcro. Once you connected with him, you couldn't get away. Right? And he accepted you on your own terms, and you remained friends for a long time. And that's what happened for us. It started slowly, but we became closer and closer, and he really was a spectacular guy. I want to give you two quotes. They're a little bit different, but I don't want to close the show with these, so I hope people will continue. But my father, who became friends with Lou later in life, said, and my father has dementia, so when he says things like this, I hold my breath, because I never know what's going to happen. He said, I'm sure glad I didn't meet Lou in the summer. He said, because he radiates such warmth.
Wow.
And I said, Dad, that's either you've been at the Hallmark store, if that's original, I'm really impressed. I didn't know my father could be that eloquent. When we sent the news of his death to Israel, he has a niece who was one of the first female rabbis ordained in the U.S. And Nami wrote back, "Blessed be the God of truth. Lou was embodied sweetness. Now he remains pure sweetness." And that's my thoughts about my father-in-law. All right? Ilsa, follow that.